Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to discuss something weird. This is Fire Emblem Shadows, which suddenly appeared as an announcement, and it was immediately made available on mobile devices. Now, I want to ask you a favor before you watch this video, and that is that if you are looking for a channel that makes rage bait or hate content, then I mean this as respectfully as possible, please do not subscribe to this channel for that. In this channel, it's mostly humor, education, game development, and then we just talk about whatever cool and interesting hobbies there are. In this video, I'm going to be quite critical, and I'm going to share my explanation and analysis of why this is not a good product, nor is it a good way to reveal a product. And I want to point out the flaws in the marketing here. Now, I want to make it very clear, I'm not here to be angry, I'm not here to make fun or insult or attack anyone that worked on this game. More so, I want to provide helpful critique from the marketing side of things. Whatever marketing director worked on this, whatever PR director, maybe they were in a time crunch. This is not good. Nothing about this is good. And I would much rather celebrate games and enjoy games, but if a student were to turn in a failing assignment, you need to explain to that student what they did wrong and how to improve it and do better next time. Were I working a contract and a colleague were to produce something like this, I would not be happy. So in this video, I'm going to approach this a little bit more professionally, a little bit more serious than in my previous videos. And again, I really prefer to have fun, but this really irritated me, seeing this. And I expect significantly better from a brand like Nintendo and from an IP like Fire Emblem. So I'm going to point out what the explained selling points are. This video, this marketing material, what it explains the selling points are. And I want you to tell me seriously if you think these are interesting selling points. I want you to listen to this as a gamer. The selling points of the product are this: fast-paced, real-time battles. Number 2, determine the traitor. Number 3, your actions influence each battle. And number 4, there is a battle after the battle. Those are the 4 selling points that are explained to us. As a gamer, do those sound interesting to you? To me, as a gamer, that sounds very boring. I have no interest in that. There's nothing interesting about fast-paced real-time battles. There's nothing interesting about determining the traitor. And the way that they explain that sounds exactly like a game that already exists, Among Us. So it sounds like they're chasing the coattails of a game that has achieved viral popularity. Number 3, your actions influence each battle. That's a given. Your actions should influence the battle. So what is the point in pointing that out as a selling point, if not to say that, if not to admit that there are no other selling points? Your actions should influence the battle, and if your actions don't influence the battle, then there's no point in engaging in the battle. Lastly, there is a battle after the battle. Whoopee. Wow. Who cares? Who cares if there's a battle after the battle? What is not a selling point? Those are supposed to be the positives. I'm going to explain now what things are that are not selling points. Number 1 is mechanical simplicity. This game is basic. This is a casual title that is free. It's on mobile devices, but mechanically it is so simple. What is the point of engaging with a product like this if the engagement, the way that you engage with it, is so simple? Number 2, I want to explain this, hopefully, so that people can understand it. The gameplay loop. Now, there's a huge difference between a gameplay loop and a gameplay flow. Over the past 9 years or so, there's been a term that people have been using on the internet, but people don't really understand it, nor do they understand what they are describing. Gameplay loop is a term that describes a flow of usage for a product that basically keeps the user trapped in a loop in which the user is doing the exact same thing over and over again, and during that loop, the product can influence and push the user into thinking and doing certain things until they're eventually pushed into the monetization side of the product. That is what a gameplay loop is. It's the exact same thing over and over again. It forces the user to do the exact same thing over and over again. This generally comes from games that emerged from the mobile platform where people are literally doing the exact same thing over and over again. A gameplay flow is something that has existed since the start of video games. A flow describes the actual usage of the product. Something like, say, for example, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild does not have a gameplay loop. It has a gameplay flow in which the user has some freedom and they have choice in the way that they engage with the product. They are not being forced to do the exact same thing over and over again. So that is gameplay flow. There's a huge difference. This does not have gameplay flow. This is a gameplay loop. It's doing the exact same thing over and over again, and it is monotonous. It is the exact same thing over and over again, and that has to do with the mechanical simplicity. You only have 3 units per battle, and you have very small, simple gameplay environments. This is not interesting. Nothing about this product is interesting to look at. It's not interesting to think about. It is not interesting to engage with. The audio-visual presentation is not engaging. What is so jarring about this presentation is the dissonant whiplash that users experience. So this here already, that there's nothing wrong with that. This is fine. This looks cool. This is what you expect from a Fire Emblem title. So people's expectations are quite high when they see something like this. You think, oh dang, this is going to be exciting, dynamic, vibrant, action-packed. Look how expressive all of these characters are. And then suddenly, it's setting the viewer up saying, this is what you can expect. Look how great this is going to be. And suddenly you have this shot, and there is dissonant whiplash. I'm going to tell you a small anecdote here. One of my first jobs, I worked in an office environment dealing with customers and customer service. It is standard when a customer enters the office to greet them and say, how are you? How was your day? And some days you would have a customer, you're positive, you're smiling. Some days you would have a customer, you say, how are you? Good to see you. How are you? And a customer would say, my husband just died and my son killed himself last week. Little bit of a whiplash, isn't it? It's not appropriate to just suddenly shift like that. And I feel something similar here. Seeing my expectations set so high for a product like this, only to then have the reveal of the product be whatever this is. And the video compression on VLC is not great here. There's whiplash here. There's dissonant whiplash. And suddenly any excitement and interest I had in the product is bottom lined at this point. This is hit the red zone. This is so dull and uninteresting as a product and as a game. So I want to ask, who is this meant to appeal to? Who does this appeal to? And I think the intended audience would be casual mobile game users. The mobile platform is one in which people have very low expectations, and so this is probably fine for that. I believe the approach here is to appeal to casual mobile game players and to bring them into the world of Fire Emblem. The problem is, this is not a good product that indicates the complexity and the mechanical intrigue of Fire Emblem games. And I believe that there is a different Fire Emblem product that is available already on mobile devices that does a significantly better job at reaching new audiences and introducing them to the intellectual property of Fire Emblem. So I ask you, why does this product exist? Why was this product made? And why was it presented in this way? Because from a gamer's perspective, this is not interesting. This is so dull. And the reason why it is so dull is because gamers already have so many other options to play significantly better products. This looks like a Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying that as an observation. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm is very simplistic. It's cutesy. It's meant to appeal to children, and it's fine if you like it if you're an adult. It's fine. It's just jarring that you have a product that looks cool. This looks fantastic. Great presentation here. And then suddenly you shift to Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm visuals. So this has been quite an irritating presentation here. And I really don't enjoy negativity at all. I'm not making this for the sake of eliciting a negative response from viewers. Again, please do not subscribe to this channel if you're looking for negativity. But I'm approaching this as a professional, and I'm very irritated right now. I'm not a huge defender of the Fire Emblem series because I don't really play it that much. It's one of my favorite genres. So I honestly don't know why I don't play Fire Emblem more because it's the exact kind of game that I really enjoy. But I'm not a huge fan of Fire Emblem. I have played one or two here and there, fine. So it's not a matter of, you know, me getting upset that you're ruining my favorite franchise. I'm not particularly attached to Fire Emblem. But to see my contemporaries in the industry produce a reveal like this, to produce marketing materials, and to produce a product like this in an intellectual property like Fire Emblem is very irritating for me. So I think this video is probably going to give you guys dissonant whiplash. And there we go. That's what dissonant whiplash feels like. I know my videos are generally quite positive and funny, but sometimes I do want to speak as a professional. And this is one where I'm very disappointed in what I see here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. I really hope that they do better than this. My next upcoming videos are going to be back to the regular positive stuff. But seeing this just put me into work mode, into professional mode. And when I'm operating in a professional environment where it's marketing, public relations, and you have to take things seriously, I shift gears and I'm in a different mindset. I'm significantly more serious. And I'm not happy with how this was handled from a professional perspective. Thank you for watching. Okay.